I want to make a Christmas decoration for the tree. I'm basically making a tree for the tree, and so I'm using Procreate on my iPad for this. Now the canvas that I've got here is more or less a little bit larger than the object that I want to design, but it's of a similar size. Okay, so when I import it into my cutting software, it's not going to change size dramatically. The importance of that is that if you have a line of a certain thickness that you are happy with, if you then make it a lot smaller, that line gets thinner, and therefore you end up with something a bit more fragile than you might have wanted. So you can go to the gallery, you can tap on here, you can either choose one of the canvas sizes that you already have, or you tap up there and you make a new canvas size. I do all mine at 300 dpi. So I'm just going to put this back down to a smaller size. So my pen that I'm using at the moment is going to be just freeform. So it's got the drawing guide on there. You go to options and you can choose your symmetry there. So I'm just going to go to done. And on this layer you can see it says assisted. So if I turn off drawing assist, I don't get the same effect. So the first thing I want to do is to check that the width of my line is what I want it to be. I'm pretty happy with that. Make sure you have one that doesn't vary according to pressure, because if it does, that's the different effect you're going to get. So I want to actually do a circle for the hanging part of my design. So if I just do that and I keep it on there, you get the chance to actually edit it. I want a circle, so that is an actual circle. And now I can select it and I can make it a bit smaller if I want to. Probably want it around about there. And I'm going to arrange it so that it's going down the middle. Now, this is on a layer in the canvas. To do the rest of my design, I'm going to add another layer. Now the reason for that is I can come in here and I can adjust where this piece is. I can actually move it around, but also I can draw one design. I can copy the layers, so I've got the circle and the rest of my design, and I can put them together, and I can duplicate that circle separately so that I can make another design, hide all the rest of the other bits, and do a completely different design and not have to redraw that circle every single time. So that's my circle layer. This is going to be my design layer. Now for my design layer, I want to make use of that symmetry. So click on that and go to drawing assist. And then whatever I do on one side will be duplicated and symmetrical on the other. So I'm just going to go like this, do a very simple Christmas tree shape. Now it will automatically straighten things out if I keep my pencil on there for too long. I don't like that shape very much, so I'm going to have another go. Yeah, happier with that one. Come in like that, down like that for a trunk. Yeah, that will do fine. And if I want to tidy that up, I can come in with an eraser, and the eraser will also work on the duplicate layer. So if I do something on this side, it tidies up the opposite side as well, which is quite handy. Okay, so both brushes and the eraser work on the duplicate. Now if I want to change the proportions of this, I can go to freeform under my selection, and I can make it that much wider if I want to. So I can move it then and line it back up to make sure it's central. And if I need to, I can zoom in and I can add a bit more of a join there, and I can come in with my eraser and just even that line out a bit and even this one a little bit. There we go. I'm happy. It doesn't have to be unduly precise for this. So for my tree sort of decoration, I'm going to come in and, well, actually first of all, I need to stop the assisting. So check that off. So I don't want it to copy everything to the other side. Just going to come in here and go like so. So I don't like that one. There we go. Okay, let's make this a bit smaller. It's easier for me to do on a small scale like this. You've got more control, I find. And take the eraser. I've got a little bit in here that I want to get rid of. There we are, get rid of that. And get rid of a little bit here. So I said, you know, you can take your time, you can tidy it up. Oops, did a bit too much there. You can tidy it up as you want. Alright. I find this easier to do if I'm sat down on the sofa, to be honest, rather than doing it on my desk, which is why this is turning out to be a little bit more complicated. I don't work on my desk for doing this very often. So we got that bit, and then I want another pattern here. So I'm going to do some different shapes just to make it interesting. And that would be there, then I'd need another one there, and I'd have one there perhaps. And maybe on this one I just do some, oops, went a bit overboard there, do some stripy shapes like this. And I said, if you're not used to doing it, just take your time, because you can undo anything that you have already done. So it doesn't have to be perfect first time. And now just go along with my lines. Alright, now assuming that I am happy with that, what I can do is duplicate that, switch it off so you don't see it, and I can just pinch these two layers together. Did it pinch? No, it didn't. Okay, I'm going to click merge down instead. It's going to be working better. Merge down. So I've got my tree on one there, and I've got this. So if I switch this off and switch my circle on, I can draw another ornament with whatever shape I want. And I can have a whole file in one drawing with lots of different ornaments, if that's what I feel like doing. I'm going to switch this one on, switch that one off. Now the other thing I'm going to do is switch off the background colour so it has a transparent background. And then that I can go to my gallery or my action tab here, and I can go to share, and then I can share it with my other electronic devices. Depending on the software you're using, you can export this only as a raster because it is not an SVG, okay? But because it has a transparent background, any cutter software will trace it without any difficulty at all, because you have solid colour, no shading, and a transparent background. So you'll be able to trace the entire lot, whether you just want the outside line or whether you want all the interior bits. Now, in some software, it will import as an SVG. That's just the way they do it. In other software, you will import the image and trace it manually in the software, depending on what you're using. But that's how I use Procreate to do all sorts of fun cuts and things, because it's so much easier for me to use a pencil and an iPad than it is to do a lot of freehand drawing on a laptop or a desktop. But it's easy to do and it's fun. So that is basically how I made the design. Then I'm going to show you how to decorate, and I'll be cutting it out now. So this has been left to its own devices for half an hour. Take off these, and I've now got one solid piece. So all I need to do is decide how I want to decorate it. So give this a good rub. So here's the finished result. These have got tiny little bits on which are possibly a bit too small and don't stand out very well against the gold. I'll put some larger pieces on as well so they show up a bit more. I actually quite like it just in the silver. I think I prefer that to the gold. And would I actually decorate it again? I'm not sure that I would add anything to it. I quite like it as it was, just foiled. But you can always ring the changes and do different effects on it. So I'll give you the file for this particular shape in case you want to use it. I'll see you again soon. Take care now.